There is only one place that you're going to get Tesla news on Saturday. You're going to get the news that happened, everything that happened after 3 o'clock on Friday, when the last of the news reports happened. We're going to cover a wide range of stories today about Tesla, about the economy in general, some really, really interesting stuff there, and about markets. Actually, the Tesla stories are probably the most interesting of all. Anyway, this is Randy Kirk. You know what to do. Hit like and subscribe and all that jazz. Brian Wang has been the story all weekend long. I had an interview with him that you might have seen on Friday, another one on Saturday, and there will be another one tomorrow. If you didn't see the other two, you really, really do need to see those. The comments have been outstanding, but the viewership this morning on the Saturday version was not that great. And I'm kind of shocked because it was a really good show. Anyway, I'll put the cards up later in the show. And I also did my own video just a little while ago. I'll put that card up too, because I've never gotten as nice comments as I did on the one about all the different moats that are around Tesla. And really, thank you so much for those comments. I'll put that card up later too, because again, a lot of lovely comments, but the viewership was terrible. So I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, let's look at it right now. We've got Cobus, Cobusils, I don't know, Kobeiissil, and then I, and Kobeiissi letter. Anyway, he's on X. He needs an easier to spell name. Anyway, and he says the S&P so far this year is up 13%. If you take out the Magnificent Seven, the S&P, the rest of the S&P is up 4%. Can we call that flat? Year to date, the Mag 7 stocks, including Tesla, are up 52%. Tesla is up 144%. When you own Tesla, you expect volatility. So the fact that it's been down for a few weeks, not that shocking. And then if you bought Tesla because I said it was going to break through 300, please don't buy Tesla because of what I say. Take into consideration, if you choose to, take into consideration my analysis. Take into consideration what my expectations are. But don't buy the stock based on what I say. But if you bought Tesla this year because of what I've been saying, and you're up 140%, or even half of that, or even a tenth of that, you're up 14%, you're doing better than the S&P by a lot. If you're up 10% so far this year, you're beating the S&P by double. Okay, personally, I'm a bit shaky on making near-term targets right now anyway. The market is a bit hinky. They don't seem to be real sure which direction they want to go. I'm not real sure whether the October 2nd miss, or not even a miss, but the lower numbers, the numbers that Elon told us would happen, I'm not sure that those are all baked in yet. I'm also pretty sure that nobody is pricing in the amazing record fourth quarter that's coming up. So there's an opportunity. Do you see the opportunity there? That's just an analysis, okay? That's one way to analyze things. Nobody's expecting, they're looking at now, what they're looking at is that third quarter and going, oh my gosh, there's going to be this much lower number than expected. But they're not looking at the fourth quarter going, oh my gosh, it's going to be a much higher number than expected. Or the first quarter of next year, which will be even higher. Okay. Anyway, so once we have the fourth quarter reality setting in, we have the Cybertruck launch probably announced this week. That's my guess, be announced this week, at the latest next week. Then I think we'll pass 300 rapidly. Still, I'm still continuing. I still have the same exact viewpoint, all-time high, end of January, 700 at the end of 2024, assuming no FSD or Optimus. You get one or both of those, who knows how high the stock's going to go next year. I'm saying probably 1,000 if you get FSD or Optimus. And if you get both, I can't even imagine. Okay. There is an ever-increasing amount of smoke right now around the potential for one or more OEMs to license FSD and the operating system from Tesla. Elon said there's talks going on. That's, as far as I know, that's the only fact that we've got right now. We only have that fact. But man, Morgan Stanley actually included it in their analysis and prediction of future stock value. I was going over their report again a little while ago, and it's right in there. They expect a licensing deal soon. Other smart folks are acting like it's more of a lock. You know, I look at that and I go, okay, Elon says that there's conversation going on. Let me tell you an old story. What is the definition of an order? For a salesman, the definition of an order is when a customer says, I'm thinking about putting in that order. For the sales manager, the order is when the purchase order hits his desk. For the vice president of sales and marketing, the order is when it gets shipped. For the owner of the company, the order is an order when it gets paid for. And for the banker, it's when the check clears. Okay, that's an old, I don't know if you've ever heard that story before. I love that story. As a salesman, as an owner. Okay. Well, anyway, I compare this to, let's say, a couple of other things that people are not counting as a done deal. So Elon says he's going to start producing Optimus in November. He said that. Did anybody go, okay, we need to buy, you know, it's like, to me, it's so much easier to come through on the claim that Optimus will actually be in production in November than it is to come through on the claim that somebody actually finishes a licensing deal. And unless there's inside information that that thing is a done deal, or it's this close to a done deal, I don't know why that is now all the conversation. I would think all the conversation would be Optimus is going to be in production in November. It's a way bigger deal. It's the biggest deal maybe in history. All right. And then FSD, that's of course, that would, you know, I don't think that the deal to make a license is any more of a locked in deal than FSD is going to be operational by the end of this year, which Larry Ellison seems to think it's certainly within the year, within the next 12 months. Anyway, yeah, so, but it's a lot of talk right now about that. So the catalyst of any such licensing deal would, in my opinion, be greater than Cybertruck, right? Yeah, that would be way bigger than Cybertruck. Not as big as FSD being completed. And to me, a clear-cut video showing Optimus working in various capacities and an offering price or a rental, monthly rental, that would be the biggest catalyst of all by a ton. So in the next 6 months, we could be looking at Optimus, FSD, Robotaxi, a licensing deal, CT, and a next-gen vehicle. Other than that, what have we got to look forward to? Elon posted on X, I just drove the performance Cybertruck today, and it kicks next level. We didn't know there was a performance Cybertruck. Will there be? Well, that suggests another article that came out today. So that caught people by surprise, but less talked about was a hint that there might be a Plaid Model 3 coming. Who's been talking about a Plaid Model 3? Do you know anybody else? Do you know one other person that has said they should do a Plaid Model 3? Have you heard people on this channel tell me, Randy Kirk, no, they shouldn't do a Plaid Model 3. That'll just cut into Model S sales. No. I've been saying they need to do a Plaid Model 3. That's my car. If I was anything under my current age, see, I bought my Volvo 12 years ago. If it had 12 years ago, for sure, I would have 12 years ago. 2012. No, that's only, yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, I would have definitely bought the Plaid Model. I would have bought a Model 3 instead of the Volvo. But man, a Plaid Model 3, are you kidding me? Anyway, speculation is this could be a 2-motor variant with one motor being the Plaid type because it's a lot lighter car. And the rumor is that it might not get down to the same 2 seconds or 1.9 seconds on the 0 to 60 as the Plaid Model S. Anyway, they're also looking at the Cybertruck performance being tested out on the track, and somebody tried to do an estimate based on the distances and whatnot. And they think that maybe the performance was doing it the 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds, and the website has it at 2.9. So the performance might be a half a second savings on 0 to 60. That's a significant savings when you're doing that kind of a run. All right, James Cat Also, his at thing on X is Tesla Fan MTL. According to data compiled by Energy Sage, Tesla's Powerwall commands a 25% market share on the home storage market in the United States. So I would think 25%, that's kind of, a number that we think of for Tesla everywhere, for everything that you do. If they can be 25% of automotive, 25% of utility size storage, 25% of the truck market, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Well, Enphase is now the leader. They took the lead in the first half of, this says 2021. Anyway, due to the fact that Tesla was severely limited on batteries because of the auto business. So we get that this business has massive potential. And you get huge interest. According to the same article, the sales of this are stronger in the Midwest than they are in California. Now, there's a surprising thing. But, you've got snow and you've got lightning, which create, when I lived in the Midwest, we had way more outages there than we ever have in California. In California, the outage, if we have an outage, it's for 15 minutes. I mean, they just don't have that many outages. So they've now got potentially, just this last week, it was mentioned that they might do Powerwall production in India. It makes me start to think, well, how much, I've read some articles on this recently, maybe these, the battery prices coming down so fast, lithium prices and other methodologies of making the storage for Powerwalls, those prices are coming down rapidly. Could we be looking at a $3,000 Powerwall at some point? $4,200, less than 30% IRA credit. Let me know in the comments, would you buy a Powerwall if it was $3,000 and let's say the installation was another $500? Would you buy one? I live in a townhouse and townhouse community. My total power cost average per month is only about $150. I would look into it. I would certainly analyze it and see whether it made sense here in Riverside to buy a Powerwall if it was only $3,000. Now, right now it's closer to, over double that. So hasn't been on my to-do list because I'm not going to put solar in this community. We've got tile and everybody's got the same tile, of course, it's identical. And so putting solar panels on top of tile is really ugly. I know in California, they can't stop you, but I'm not going to get the neighbors all worked up. Okay. The Wall Street Journal's Dan Neal titles his piece, 2024 Honda Accord, the sedan is back. So he says that younger people are thinking they don't need an SUV. And besides, that's their parents' car. Kind of like the days when the station wagon or even the minivan became old news. He makes that claim, and then he goes on to say, so I'm quoting him here, if you juiced me up on truth serum and asked me to pick a car from among Accord's hereditary sedan foes, the guy's a very clever writer, pick among these hereditary sedan foes, Toyota Camry, Hyundai Sonata, and Nissan Altima, I would say none of the above. He likes the Subaru Legacy with mechanical all-wheel drive as standard equipment. He says that rises above the generally commodified, competitively benchmarked parity of the class. See, he's a very good writer. I don't write as well as him. The Accord Hybrid Touring is a strong choice. My admiration is diminished only by the knowledge that it too is obsolete compared with the quicker, roomier, more efficient, and connected Tesla Model 3 and EV. The Model 3 standard range rear-wheel drive starts at $40,240 and qualifies for a $7,500 federal tax credit to eligible buyers, putting it squarely in Accord's shoppers' buying range. Buyers will win a home charger, less than $2,000 if you put in a fancy home charger. We didn't put anything like that in. we paid nothing for our home charger. But the out-of-pocket would still be way below the Honda Hybrid. From there, the Tesla would continue to earn with annual cost of charging $350 less than the Accord Hybrid's gas budget, according to fueleconomy.gov. Not to mention the fact that the Model 3 is a four-wheeled spaceship with a computer for brains. The Accord Hybrid is jumping out of the cake, but it's Tesla's party now. So what does all of this say about the new Highland or as it's now called, the Model 3 Plus. I think it says we could be looking at some big sales. That's my theory. Fortune magazine attended a briefing by Exxon, and Exxon was reporting this. This is in quotes. We're planning on modifying some of that yield from gasoline to distillate and chemicals feedstock. That was Jack Williams, Exxon senior vice president. He said Wednesday in their offices in Spring, Texas. We've got projects that we know we would do to take these steps. Chemicals will be key to the strategy's success. Exxon sees demand growth for its high-performance chemicals at about 7% a year, contrasting sharply with gasoline, which is expected to peak globally by the end of the decade. Now remember, gasoline can't peak until we have a lot more BEVs on the road. We could have 100% BEV sales right now. It would still take 20 years to take all the other gasoline cars off the road. So he says to keep up with this demand, Exxon plans to build a new dedicated chemical plant every 4 to 7 years, not to do gasoline, not to do diesel, but to do other chemicals. The company's refineries provide an additional means to make chemicals, but they will focus on responding to consumer preference rather than making a big bet on any particular product, he said. We're not going to do it while the demand is still there, he said, while the demand for gasoline is still there. We're going to do it at a time when the demand trends are clear and customers don't need that gasoline. Man, I wish somebody would tell both sides of the aisle. I wish they would tell the Democrats and the Republicans. Anyway, my sense is that both sides of this debate about the future of oil fail to get the full big picture and the relative flexibility of these huge companies to move things around as needed. Not to say that they will make huge errors along the way and overproduce this and underproduce that, or they couldn't have done more up until now or going forward, only that this brief quote indicates a pretty wise view of the future, in my opinion, even if it's defensive as opposed to offensive. Anyway, I was really, as I mentioned before, I was really blown away by the low viewership on that video with Brian Wang earlier today. I'm not sure if the thumbnail or the headline just didn't capture imagination or what, but Brian's theory regarding a Lego-like assembly, a snap-together potential for building Tesla vehicles, and maybe getting it down to under 15 minutes per car, maybe even into 10 minutes from the current 45 minutes a car, I think it's really worth listening to. This guy is very bright, as you know, and he did a great job of explaining what the unboxed thing is a little. I think we all kind of get that, but this takes it to the next level and talks about how all this is now going to be snapping together like precision Legos. Anyway, here's the card for that one. As I mentioned, I did a video earlier today on all the different ways that Tesla has a moat around its business. That got great responses, lovely comments. I couldn't believe how good the comments were, but very low viewership. There's a card for that. These might be out of order. I can never figure out how to put them in right order. And then Brian's from on Friday. You want to look at that one too, although that got massive viewership. Anyway, Brian will be back again tomorrow morning. So you want to hit like, subscribe, and notify so you'll be reminded. Brian's going to have a discussion of the semi-truck, including the results of the first 11 days on the Run On Less testing program. It's really amazing to see what those semi-trucks have been able to do so far, and some of the results, the things that people are thinking as a result of what they've seen the Tesla semi-trucks doing thus far. Anyway, you know that I could not end this particular session without talking about one of my favorite things in the world, and you'll notice that one of my listeners, I think it was John, I can't remember for sure. Anyways, he said I should put it up on the shelf back here like I had in my old virtual shelf. Now I have my camo on my real shelf. How about that, huh? Now you're supposed to ask, where did you get that? Where did you get that great truck there that's on your shelf? Like so many people did when it was just an image. I'm sorry, I'm not making fun of anybody. Here it is. You know what it is. You've already heard me talk about it. Same thickness as a Cybertruck, 3 millimeters of stainless steel, magnet on the back for your refrigerator, bottle opener, goes everywhere. I've got so many people still they're going to give him his gifts. Okay. It's going to be Christmas gifts. It's going to be office gifts. It's going to be give it to your buyer gift. So many people, birthday gifts. Your brother called me earlier today and wonders how come he hasn't gotten one of these from you yet, just because, just out of the blue, that you should get. Anyway, you need one for yourself. You need one for your cabin. You need one for the RV. If you haven't bought it yet, how come? It's $25. You already knew that, right? It's $25. No matter how many you buy, up to 10. And then if you're going to buy more than 10, give me a buzz and we'll talk about at least like a 10% discount if you want to buy over 10. If you join Patreon, you get it for free at the $10 level. So join Patreon, $10 level, you get a free one. And then if you join Patreon and you join at the $10 level, then you can have multiple more of them at $20 a piece. So that's another way. If you're going to buy 10, you can even get it less expensively if you join Patreon first, and then you can you get the one free and you get a bunch more at $20 a piece. So how's that deal? Okay. Of course, you can still get the book. You should order the book. You should get the book. Anyway, that's all that I can think of to talk to you about in this particular session. I'll be looking forward to talking to you more tomorrow. It's been great talking to you today.